it's Catherine from Moonstarlodge. If it's your first time joining us, welcome, and if you've been before, welcome back. We're doing a weekly reading for the 17th of October until the 23rd of October, which is getting very close to the new moon and Owagat, which is the Iroquoian Feast of the Dead, and a very special day for me. Anyway, I have pulled some spooky decks. I have everything from the campy and ridiculous to the really serious out there. Bless you. I have pulled in for this week some decks which I had showcased in a previous recent video and wasn't sure about, but I've had a chance to work with them, and I'll speak to that when we get to the cards. So basically, we are post that full moon on the, what was it, the 9th. So we're just coming to the end of third quarter and moving into fourth quarter. And I'm always reminding people, when we think of the medicine wheel and the seeds that we plant, either literally in a garden or figuratively with the grandmothers of the moon cycle, and it still weaves the web. Fourth quarter is never in a garden when we plant. We're very careful about that. If you look at any of the old farmers' almanacs, whether it's indigenous based or not, you will find that we don't plant anything in the fourth quarter. We always deadhead and weed and remove things. It's the same with our personal and spiritual life. We do not add anything new. We take the week to analyze of fourth quarter, the week of fourth quarter, and we analyze and we look at what isn't serving us. So I'll ask Brian to go to the cards. So here are the decks. This Trick or Treat Tarot by Barbara Moore I wasn't so sure of, but I'm quite happy bringing it into this week. I have the First Light Tarot by Dinah Roseberry, and she has been in the past one of the editors of Paranormal Things with the book publisher that she works for, which is quite famous. It's Schiffer Books, and this is her actual deck. It's majors only, so I've included one card in the reading with the tarot section and one card in the oracular section. We have the Dark Moon Tarot from Poland. We have the Murder of Crows Tarot. We have the Angelarium Oracle, the Oracle of Emanation, and it's Dark Angels. Angels not presented in the Raphael-esque middle century concept of angels. We have the Forest Fae because, you know, they're out and about this time of year. They're still doing their thing. The Dark Mirror Tarot and Stacey DeMarco's Deep, Dark, and Dangerous Oracle. Dark Mirror is an oracle as well. So I'm going to move these boxes and get to the cards. I pulled the cards ahead. As most of you know, I have pretty serious rheumatoid arthritis, and trying to shuffle decks on camera, we'd be here for a week by the time I got these cards laid out. So, oops, put that one back. We'll just get rid of these boxes. So these 7 cards here are strictly tarot cards. I've pulled 2 from Barbara Moore's Trick or Treat deck, 2 from the Mansion deck, 2 from the Murder of Crows, and 1 from First Light. And the Oracle card for the First Light is up here. And then these are the rest of the Oracle cards, including the Fae card. So let's carry on here. So we're starting this period of the 17th with the Four of Swords, which is typically depicted as a knight in such deep rest he appears to be dead. He's not dead, he's in contemplation. The next card is from the Major Arcana, and it's the Lover's card. This card is the Nine of Wands. This is the Queen of Wands. This is also the Nine of Wands from a different deck, the Murder of Crows. This is the Ace, or the one in this deck, of Pentacles. And this card is the Lover's card. So that threw me off, because we have the Lover's cards, two of them from different decks here, and we have two Nine of Wands. So these are emphatic messages. We have the concept of looking at love, the contemplation. Let's start there. The contemplation is what we all need to be doing. It's not an action week initially. We are contemplating this Lover's card. The Lover's card is about relationship. It can be relationship with another, of course. It can be relationship with self. It can also be about choices. What choices do we have? And the good and bad choices we look at in others, if we're taking that partnership on, is what we also have to have within ourselves, because it's not going to work if we idealize others not to rise to those standards ourselves. So it can also be, because of this depth of contemplation here, I'm questioning whether this is in fact the acceptance of aspects of self, working with shadow self, working with the parts of us that are the animus and the anima, and just making sure we are at peace with things going on within us during this time of change. Here with the Nine of Wands, we are defending something. We've worked very hard. We're a little beat up about it, but we are in a position to protect and defend the passionate choices that we've made about something, some endeavor, which is coming close to its completion cycle. So this is about standing firm with some decisions that you've made. Again, needing to be at peace with them, because clearly there may be other forces that are not. The Queen of Wands is an interesting figure sitting between the two Nine of Wands cards. She is the one that's giving us the power and the passion and the higher calling, the connection to source, to say, yes, stand your ground. So here she is between the two cards that speak to this. Why? Why are we holding on to something we've created, contemplating, balancing within ourselves about it, making choices that relate to balance in relationship? Well, we've got this One or Ace of Pentacles, and that suggests the incubus, the beginning of some new, very foundational, third dimensional earth walk, something that relates to our prosperity and our life here on earth. What that is going to be different for each of us. This is a collective reading, but we all know that how our lives are impacted. These are overarching energies. So how the story plays out through these cards for everyone is going to be different. I'm very interested with Ms. Roseberry's interpretation of the Lovers. It's union, it's matters of the heart, choices, physical love, but it's the intertwining of energies, and so it's a slight, there are similarities between these two Lovers cards, but it's a powerful love, a love of what we are doing and protecting. We know that the creative divine feminine is with us. This is as much a goddess card as anything. So this is a very intriguing week. I sit and think I will have to contemplate how this applies in my own life. So let's pull in these very different oracle cards and see how we might be guided to develop this week. So the first card, which is from the same deck as this one, talks about recent past, looking into and contemplating something from the recent past. That is the impetus for the contemplation and the flow of this reading. What strikes me about this is the interpretation here suggests something incubating that's very long term, but the impetus for us has come just recently. This is calling the storm. Calling the storm is a card about, it's not just facing a storm that we've come up upon and now we must turn and face it. In fact, we are pulling the energies of the universe and the earth together. Earth, water, fire, and the wind, to create a storm, to shake something up. And I see that reflecting on these cards. We're shaking something up with this passionate endeavor that we've pulled to a completion or near completion because we're starting something new. This passionate endeavor is going to change the life that you have, that we all have. This next support figure here is Eistibus, the angel of divination. So this angel is asking us to turn to our cards, our resources, whether you use cards, whether you use runes, whether you use scrying, whatever it is, you need to call in the higher elements, the divine energies, in order to, and I see that reflected in this card to a degree, in order to make the right moves here. This angel is Chokmah, the right eye, and it's the invoking of wisdom. It's not unlike the Eye of Horus. Let me get the coffee off that card. That's not a good thing to do. So we're looking at wisdom, we're looking at divine insight. This card from the Forest Fae is Walker on the Wind. The raven shows the way. Be courageous. Change and chance can bring exciting wonders. So there's a little tiny fae riding the wings of this raven, walking on the wind, and here's the winds and the storm. So you're using the energies to bring things into a condition where you can move forward. This card is Anubis, and Anubis is an ancient Egyptian god calling upon respect. And sorry, my dog threw me off there for a second, woofing. Anubis is asking us to respect our own path, to respect that there is a new beginning, to respect the change that we apparently have already instigated in the recent past. And finally, this card is Persephone. It's the journey. I've been listening to Esther and Abraham doing some the Abraham Hicks talks, and it's interesting about the respecting the journey. We have to have this journey. We have to learn from this journey to bring about the importance of this new beginning. All right, I'm going to have Brian flip the camera. I think this is extraordinarily powerful. I really wished I had sat with this for some time before bringing it to you. But you have the images of the deck boxes as well as the layout to sit in contemplation with it yourself for some time this week. We are all apparently co-creating something, and that, as part of the sacred web of life, is what we do together. As each of us individually raise our vibration, we raise the vibration of our part of the sacred web around us, and this will start a fire. It lights a passionate fire of spiritual change. So spiritual change is happening. Anyway, miigwech, nyawen, aho. Be at peace.